Wanderers were doing something different today. I did a little experiment. Who understands The Lord of the Rings better? Amazon's Rings of Power? Or the new artificial intelligence called ChatGPT? I asked the AI 3 questions about Lord of the Rings, and its answers left me speechless. Today I will explore these 3 questions, giving you the responses from an artificial intelligence and comparing them with how I assume Rings of Power would have answered the same questions. You may have heard the buzz around a new chat-based AI called ChatGPT from a company called OpenAI. The basic idea is you ask the AI questions and it provides responses. But unlike Google, which provides you with a list of websites or links to check out, ChatGPT is more conversational. For example, if you type the question, "What are you?" you get this response. I am an AI assistant trained to assist with a wide range of tasks and answer questions to the best of my ability. Do you have any specific questions I can help with? Pretty cool, huh? So I asked the AI these 3 questions. What is the connection of Aragorn with the theme of hope in The Lord of the Rings? Is Galadriel a strong character in The Lord of the Rings? How has Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings impacted humanity? Let's start with question number 1. Longtime wanderers know that I'm a big fan of Aragorn. He's basically my favorite character. And in a recent viewing of Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings movies, I was struck by how often hope was mentioned in connection with Aragorn. And I've made the connection more than once to the name that Elrond gave Aragorn when the young man was fostered in Rivendell, Estel, meaning hope. So this was the first question I posed to the AI. What is the connection of Aragorn with hope in The Lord of the Rings? I will now provide you, in full, with no editing or abridgment, the response from ChatGPT. Keep in mind, a computer wrote this, not a human. Not a literary expert, but a computer. In The Lord of the Rings, Aragorn is a key figure in the quest to destroy the One Ring and defeat the Dark Lord Sauron. He is a skilled warrior and leader, and is also a person of great hope and faith. Throughout the story, Aragorn displays a deep sense of hope and determination, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. He believes that the forces of good will ultimately triumph over evil, and he inspires those around him to hold fast to this belief as well. One key moment that demonstrates Aragorn's connection with hope is when he takes on the mantle of the King of Gondor. At this point in the story, the Kingdom of Gondor is in a state of despair, and many of its people have lost hope for the future. However, Aragorn's leadership and unwavering faith in the ultimate victory of good give the people of Gondor a renewed sense of hope and purpose. In the end, Aragorn's hope and faith are vindicated, as the One Ring is destroyed and Sauron is defeated, thanks in part to Aragorn's leadership and bravery. Aragorn's hope and faith serve as a beacon of light in the darkness of Middle-earth, and are a key factor in the ultimate triumph of good over evil. Isn't that awesome? A lot of things are happening here. First, the answer format is strikingly similar to a 5-paragraph essay that your middle school English teacher attempted to teach you how to write. That's a pretty basic literary technique. Second, I remind you a human did not write this, yet the wording and style are uncharacteristic of a computer. You might be convinced you were chatting with a human. A precocious human, nevertheless. Third, is it accurate? Aragorn believes that the forces of good will ultimately triumph over evil. Yes, that's accurate. He inspires those around him? Check. If you need reassurance of this, go watch or read how Aragorn goes through the paths of the dead. His will is so strong that even the horses pass through that dark journey. Gondor is in despair when Aragorn becomes king. Yes, but the Dark Lord had been overthrown at that point. And who could argue with this? Aragorn's hope and faith serve as a beacon of light in the darkness of Middle-earth? That's absolutely true. Is there anything missing? We have a general theme, a specific example, and an examination of the implications of Aragorn's hope. So yeah, ChatGPT certainly wins. I suppose for the Tolkien linguists, there could be some connection to Aragorn's childhood name and how that guided his later choices, but I'll cut the AI some slack for now. Aragorn is a regular fan-favorite character with relatively little controversy. Let's explore a much more, at least recently, controversial character, Galadriel. Galadriel has been swirling in controversy ever since the first trailers of Amazon's first season of Rings of Power hit the public. Many fans bemoaned her sword skills, others celebrated it. Suddenly, the majestic, wise, powerful elf lady of Lothlorien has become a hardened, sword-slinging revenge seeker. That didn't sit well with many fans, and the argument quickly plummeted to accusations of wokeness or sexism. But how does ChatGPT respond to this question? Is Galadriel a strong character in The Lord of the Rings? Again, I give you the non-edited response from an artificial intelligence. Galadriel is a powerful and influential character in The Lord of the Rings. She is an elven queen, one of the oldest and most wise beings in Middle-earth, and is known for her great beauty, strength, and wisdom. Galadriel is a strong character in many ways. She is a skilled diplomat and politician, and is able to use her wisdom and influence to bring about peaceful resolutions to conflicts. She is also a powerful sorceress, able to wield great magical power, and she uses this power wisely and with great restraint. Despite her great strength, Galadriel is also a deeply compassionate and caring individual, and is deeply concerned with the well-being of others. She is known for her generosity and kindness, and often goes out of her way to help those in need. Overall, Galadriel is a complex and multifaceted character, and is certainly one of the strongest and most influential figures in The Lord of the Rings. I love this, it's so good. Let's break that down. At the top, Galadriel is a powerful and influential character. Okay, great thesis. I like where this is going, but that was literally the question I posed. So a general answer. She is known for her great beauty, strength, and wisdom. Ding, ding, ding. 100% correct on all three accounts. Then we get examples. Galadriel is a diplomat and makes peaceful resolutions. Not sure where ChatGPT pulled that from, because we don't see much of Galadriel being a politician in The Lord of the Rings. I guess we do see her saying the names of the ancient dwarven kingdoms in the dwarven language, and that kind of won over Gimli's heart. We do see her as a bit of a thought leader in the Silmarillion, but that was more inflaming the hearts of the Noldor to leave Valinor and return to Middle-earth, not exactly a peaceful resolution. So I'm going to say a miss for ChatGPT on that one. But the next example more than makes up for it. Here is Galadriel in a sentence. She is also a powerful sorceress, able to wield great magical power, and she uses this power wisely and with great restraint. Now, she wouldn't call her power magical by any means, and she almost rebukes Sam for using that word to describe her power. But sorceress, yes. Great power, yes. Uses power wisely and with great restraint, absolutely spot on correct. The best example of this is the temptation of the ring, when Frodo offers it to her freely, yet she denies the ring and passes the test. And I think the AI is correct again when it claims that Galadriel is caring, concerned, generous, and kind to others, especially in how she helps the Fellowship on their journey. But that last statement demonstrates to me that ChatGPT really understands Galadriel, at least more than Rings of Power does. Galadriel is a complex and multifaceted character, and is certainly one of the strongest and most influential figures in The Lord of the Rings. Yes, Galadriel is complex, beautiful and terrible as the dawn, powerful yet meek, strong yet kind, and she can be a multifaceted, highly influential, very strong character without ever having to touch a sword. You may hate me for saying this, but I do not believe the only way for a female character to show her strength is to pick up a sword and be better at fighting than all the males. Now, don't get me wrong, Galadriel was tall and more athletic than many male elves. Tolkien described her that way. But it comes back to this. Galadriel is multifaceted, and to take one sliver of her character and continually pound that into an audience's brain does her a major disservice. Whether she's taking on a snow troll, bullying Númenórean youth, threatening genocide, or is motivated only by revenge for her one brother who died. Where's the multifaceted, complex elf we would have loved to explore? Where was the elf maiden, the only woman to stand tall among the princes of the Noldor and argue on behalf of the elves, who forcefully denied her uncle Fëanor 3 strands of her hair, yet later would give those to Gimli the dwarf? Where was the elf who learned wisdom and restraint while she sat at the feet of the great Maiar Melion? What about the trauma that infected her mind after all the tortures of the First Age? Not that we needed to see those events portrayed, but we needed to see a Galadriel who was more complex than a brash, vengeful, impetuous, almost teenager who can do nothing but pick up a sword, move really fast, and do fancy battle tricks on horseback. Rings of Power has brutally misportrayed Galadriel, at least in Season 1, and I really hope that they can learn from ChatGPT and give us a more complex, somewhat likable Galadriel in future seasons. With my last question, I wanted to go broader than any one character, and I asked ChatGPT, how has Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings impacted humanity? We'll get to that right after this break. We're not done yet. If you like this episode, please leave a review and share with your friends. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be right back.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
So the last question I posed to the AI, I actually did it twice, because I wanted something a little more in-depth than the classic high school 5-paragraph essay. So I gave the AI a minimum and asked, in 500 words, how has Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings impacted humanity? Here is the AI's response. It's a bit long, not quite 500 words, but it is over 400 words. But stick with me. J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings has had a significant and lasting impact on popular culture, literature, and the fantasy genre. Since its publication in the 1950s, The Lord of the Rings has become one of the most widely read and best-selling books of all time, and has been translated into more than 50 languages. The epic fantasy story has captured the imaginations of readers and audiences around the world, and has inspired countless other works of fiction, film, and other media. One of the primary ways in which The Lord of the Rings has impacted humanity is through its enduring themes and ideas. The story explores a wide range of themes that are relevant and meaningful to people of all ages, including the struggle between good and evil, the importance of friendship and loyalty, and the power of hope and faith. These themes have resonated with readers and have helped to make The Lord of the Rings a timeless and enduring classic. The Lord of the Rings has also had a significant impact on the fantasy genre. The story helped to establish many of the conventions and tropes that have become common in fantasy literature and media, such as the use of magic, mythical creatures, and otherworldly landscapes. It has inspired countless other authors to write in the fantasy genre and has helped to popularize fantasy as a literary and artistic form. The Lord of the Rings has also had a profound influence on popular culture. The story has been adapted into numerous films, television series, video games, and stage productions, and has spawned a vast array of merchandise and other related products. The popularity of The Lord of the Rings has helped to bring fantasy and science fiction into the mainstream, and has contributed to the growth of these genres in popular media. Stick with me, we're almost done. In addition to its impact on literature and popular culture, The Lord of the Rings has also had an influence on language and linguistics. Tolkien was a linguist and created a number of invented languages for his Middle-earth stories, including Elvish, which has become a popular subject of study and interest among language enthusiasts. The influence of The Lord of the Rings on language and linguistics is yet another way in which the story has impacted humanity. Overall, The Lord of the Rings has had a profound and enduring impact on culture and society. Its enduring popularity and influence are a testament to its timeless themes and appeal, and it is likely to continue to have a lasting impact for many years to come. As I said, that was only about 430 words, but close enough to 500. And I couldn't agree more. I believe Tolkien's work resonates with us for so many reasons, not the least of which are the powerful themes that he explores. Themes that the AI highlighted, like good versus evil, friendship and loyalty, and the power of hope. I've tried to point out examples of those themes as we've come across them in Tolkien's The Silmarillion and in the movies. And speaking of themes, the Rings of Power showrunners seem to respect and admire the themes of Tolkien. And for that, I haven't fully rejected them. However, I still see flaws in their execution and demonstration of those themes, but I have hope that they'll get better. The AI pointed out Tolkien's influence on popular culture and on language and linguistics, both true points. In a future episode, we'll cover Appendix F to The Lord of the Rings, in which Tolkien describes pronunciation, writing, and grammar for some of his invented languages. And I should also note that Tolkien invented these languages first, and then felt like they needed a story, a culture, a history, in order to bring his languages to life. The AI's final response, that The Lord of the Rings will likely continue to have a lasting impact for years to come, I think is completely true. This speaks to the staying power of Tolkien's works. Something in his words touches the human soul with deep truths in story form, entices the human mind to contemplate deep questions of the human experience, and inspires the human heart with hope, optimism, and enjoyment of high beauty. I, for one, will continue to be touched, enticed, and inspired as I wander the world and works of J.R.R. Tolkien. So, between ChatGPT and Amazon's Rings of Power, I'm going to say that ChatGPT understands Tolkien and his themes better than Rings of Power has shown us so far. Thanks for wandering Middle-earth with me and an artificial intelligence today. My friends, if you enjoyed this episode, let me know by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing with your friends. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Lore of the Rings Podcast. For feedback on the show, please email me using the link in the show notes. Until next Thursday, remember, not all those who wander are lost.